guys, so a belated game 3 from the Throne of Skulls tournament. So going into round 3, I was on 2 wins, feeling pretty good about myself. Happy with the way the list was going. Real lucky game 2. I managed to get the win, so spirits were high at this point. And I got put over against a Orcs and Goblins list, which is always an absolute barrel of fun. Playing Orcs and Goblins, random crap can happen. So I was really looking forward to this game. It had the potential to be a real good laugh, really enjoyable game. We ended up playing Battle for the Pass. My level 1 wizard took Searing Doom, simply because I think I rolled up Genna's Golden Hounds, which is possibly the worst spell in the entire lore. That's the only reason why I would have swapped to Searing Doom, because Searing Doom against Orcs and Goblins is pretty pointless. And the Demon Prince went ahead and got the Crest of Lanith, the Fate of Buna, Purple Sun, and Doom of Darkness. So he got pretty much the 4 spells that I wanted him to get. Okay, so in deployment, we're playing Battle for the Pass, and basically, because of a combination of 2 things, firstly, a big giant tower right in the center of the board, and the fact that this was game 3 and I couldn't be asked to walk around the other side of the table, I pretty much stuck everything on this closest side of the board to me. So go ahead, the 3 units of dogs up in front, Nurgle Gorebeast, Demon Prince, Nurgle Warriors, another Nurgle Gorebeast, and the BSB and Demonic Mount all behind, basically ready just to push up this right flank and swing around the tower into the centre. And on the other side of the table, the one unit I could be bothered to stretch across the place, the Skull Crushers, probably the only unit that doesn't really need the leadership bubble or the BSB. They can handle it pretty much on their own over there. So that was the deployment. To counter, my opponent is running an A-Rock Spider, which first of all I gave him a massive high five for, because no one brings the A-Rock. It's this awesome model. I just wish it was a bit more powerful than it was. So he got kudos points for that. Behind the A-Rock, he had 2 Spear Chuckers. He had a couple of buildings disrupting his deployment zone. We played on a really densely terrained board. But he had another Spear Chucker, a Mangler. Here's a picture of the centre. Excuse me, guys. He had another Mangler up in front. He had a big unit of Night Goblin Spearmen with tons of characters in there, tons of bosses. There was like an Orc War boss that should have been licked on the edge, but it didn't really make much of a difference. 3 more Spear Chuckers, a Doom Diver, and a big unit of Night Goblin Archers with the Spider Banner. So he's gone for the Goblin theme. Definitely not the most competitive Orcs and Goblins list you'll ever see, but it's Orcs and Goblins. It's going to be a ton of fun. I'm looking at starting Orcs and Goblins, so this was like a real good sort of warm-up game for me, going into Orcs and Goblins book. So I win the roll to go first, and I move up like this. The dogs don't vanguard, because I didn't want to get too close to the Mangler Squigs. I want them to have to move forward, and then I can just throw my dogs on top of them. The dogs are pretty much the perfect unit to clear out Manglers. The Nurgle Warriors push up. The BSB trips on the fence and takes a wound, even past his 3 up, pretty much 3 revolver ward save. The Chariot pushes up a little bit. He's going to swing around to the left of the tower. Down on this side, the Gorebeast Chariot pushes up. Really seeing that the problem with the Gorebeast Chariots is they're just so slow. This Chariot down here on the right hand side of this board is probably not going to see combat at all, or certainly not until turn 4 or 5. Movement 6 Chariots are just too slow. Demon Prince flies up. He's out of line of sight of 4 of the 6 Spear Chuckers. I'd obviously rather only take 2 Spear Chuckers shots rather than 6. So he's hiding around the building. It's also in a pretty good place to get some death magic off on the A-Rock, maybe try and Purple Sun it. So happy with his position there. And the Skull Crushers have moved up into the trees. I've just took one guy out the front rank to just signify where the corner of the unit is. They've not died, but the trees at Warhammer World are not modular, so we can't take them off to place the unit. But there's one guy in there behind that tree. So in the magic phase, the Demon Prince goes ahead and casts a Purple Sun, which goes straight through the Aerox Spider, but it passes its initiative test. I didn't realise it was initiative 4. I thought it was going to be initiative 2 and an easy pickup, but it is not. And I only rolled a 4, so it fell just short of going through the Spade Chuckers, because that would have been really nice to pick up those Spade Chuckers and avoid that shooting, because War Machines auto fail initiative test, and then they would have died, which would have been awesome, but never mind. Elsewhere in the magic phase, I do manage to cast a Caress of Lanif on his level 4 Night Goblin Wizard and kill him, which is superb because now he has no magic. That was his only caster, so I was really happy about that. He's got no magic defense. I've got his scroll. I'm really going to dominate, probably the whole game from this point on. Okay, into Orcs and Goblins turn 1. He goes ahead and charges the Aerox Spider into the Demon Prince. I'm not entirely sure why. I mean, he's got the Venom Surge attack. He could kill the Demon Prince, but the Demon Prince is such a badass. He's probably going to slap the A-Rock, and if not, he's going to break it from combat. I think this is just what happens when a player who hasn't experienced the Demon Prince before, can end up making these kind of mistakes. It looks like the Demon Prince has took a wound, probably from miscasting Purple Sun. I think he got magical feedback. It's most likely option there. So this is a bit of a dubious move here. He probably would have just been better shooting all Spade Chuckers at the Demon Prince, but I was happy. The Mangler here moves up like this around to the left hand side of the tower, and the other Mangler goes onto the other side of the tower. So he's getting good ball control. He's going. He's going for the expensive stuff. He's going for the Skull Crushers. However, he's got himself too close to the dogs. He should have pushed this Mangler in particular a lot wider, a lot more towards the board edge to get well out of charge range of or march range of the Warhounds, and possibly done the same with the other Mangler. The Manglers are pretty much perfectly geared to take out the Skull Crushers with the Strength 6 armor piercing hits. He should have just sent them both over to this side, as far to the table edge as he could have gone. But again, these mistakes are made. The rest of the movement kind of looks like this. Not much happens. Bit of shuffling around. He's not actually put Model back in the front rank where his level 4 was, but it doesn't matter. Obviously, his War Machines aren't going to move. They're all static. And that's about just shuffling here and there. So this is the sort of end of his turn in the shooting phase. Pretty much nothing happens. His big unit of archers were out of range, if I remember rightly, or they don't hit anything because of long range and soft cover. Either way, nothing happens to the Skull Crushers. I think a couple of the Spear Chuckers pop a shot or two off at the BSB, but he makes his ward save, and that's pretty much all that goes down for a shooting based Goblin list. I was very relieved at the lack of damage that went on in the first turn, and then the Doom Diver scattered off. So yeah, that's just a shot of his lackluster shooting there. In the magic phase, obviously I kill his caster, so he doesn't have any. The Purple Sun ends. I think either goes off the table or it just implodes on itself. These two Spear Chuckers again, I think went for the BSB as well, and either missed or didn't do anything, which I was obviously very happy about. In the combat phase, the Demon Prince takes no wounds. I think I slapped 2 or 3 wounds onto the A-Rock. Fails its leadership 6 and flees to the building. I run really small amounts. I think we played it right. The A-Rock hits the building and bounces through the other side. Took a dangerous training test, but it was fine. And the Demon Prince is stuck there, which is fine for the Demon Prince because he has fly. He can charge over that building now into the flank of that big unit of Night Goblins and hopefully break them in the flank, which would pretty much wrap up the game right there because that's a ton of points. He's got his general in there, loads of characters, big unit. So that's where the Demon Prince is going next turn. So the rest of the movement looks like this. The BSB marches up as far as you can go. Looks like he did actually take a wound. Oh, that was his wound from first turn, tripping over the fence. Again, the two noble chariots push up, and you can see here just how slow that that they really are. They're really lacking behind. Noble warriors push up. As you can see, I'm down 2 units of dogs, but there is 2 manglers that have disappeared. That's my plan to get rid of them all along, was to throw the dogs onto them, and that worked. And the Demon Prince here goes ahead and takes this charge into the flank of the big Night Goblin Spearman unit. He's got tons of characters in there he can issue a challenge with. I'm just gonna hope to get Doom and Darkness off, get his steadfast 8 down to a steadfast 5, and hopefully just break him through combat res. So in the magic phase, I go ahead and get Doom and Darkness off. It's the only spell I do manage to cast. I think I pull some dice by trying to snipe his general. Get Doom and Darkness off, which is the spell I wanted, which I was perfectly happy with. So now this unit is steadfast on a 5 rather than steadfast on an 8. So I'm really happy the way this is looking. Pretty good chance of breaking this unit and pretty much wrapping up the game, which does happen. So I have no shooting, no other magic, straight to the combat phase. My opponent makes a huge mistake of challenging with his Orc War Boss General. Obviously no match for the Demon Prince. The Demon Prince beats him down to a bloody pulp, which not only kills his general, but drops his leadership down from leadership from steadfast 5 to steadfast 2, and he fails with his reroll and gets run down. And because of the angle, when I chase him, I actually hit into that spear chucker. So in his turn, I'm going to be able to clear up that spear chucker. And then get the charge again into another spear chucker. So mistake there from my opponent. He had tons and tons of characters in that unit he could have challenged with, plus a unit champion. I think again, lack of experience against the Demon Prince really underestimated his potential to kill characters, because his war boss was pretty killy. He had a bunch of high strength attacks and all the rest of it, but the Demon Prince being so high initiative, yeah, he didn't stand a chance. So massive mistake there. It's probably cost my opponent the game. Okay, into my opponent's turn. Again, there's very little movement going on, so pretty much we go straight into shooting every time. Either that or I just forgot a couple of pitches. Spear chucker here, one doesn't. I think it hits the Gold Beast, but doesn't wound. The one misfires and can't shoot this turn or next. In the centre of the board here, so some fanatics have popped out. They've not really done anything. The Orc Spider has rallied and got into position to charge the Demon Prince. Again, Spear Chuckers and Doom Divers are going after the BSB, but my high armor set, my high ward save with rerollable is keeping me alive at this point. The Night Goblins go ahead and fire off again at the Skull Crushers and don't do anything again with my 1-up save, and being in cover is really helping me. And of course in combat, the Demon Prince easily picks up that other Spear Chucker and just reforms to face the Doom Diver. So definitely looking like it's just going to be a mop-up job now. The Orc Spider still has the potential to, cause me some problems. But I think at this point it's pretty much game. Okay, Warriors of Curse turn 3. I go ahead and charge the Demon Prince into the Doom Diver at the back. He's just placed next to it there just because of the board. He wouldn't stand up. So he's just placed next to it when he was in combat. And you see the bottom of the screen there, the BSB has gone ahead and charged into that other Spear Chucker. Now I have the option to kill the Spear Chucker and then overrun into the flank of the A-Rock. Now, if the A-Rock wasn't stubborn, that's what I would do. But, seeing as the A-Rock is stubborn, I don't want to get my BSB stuck there, taking a ton of attacks and potentially breaking and dying. So, depending on what happens elsewhere, the BSB is probably going to, kill that Spear Chucker and reform. Rest of the moves like this. So, again, the Gold Beast Chariots are just lagging absolutely massively behind. I can't remember if this turn I declared a charge or not onto the Spear Chuckers with the Gold Beast on the right. Just try and get him up quicker either way is just really, really slow. Really disappointed with them. No-Go Warriors have moved in a position to get through that gap between the two buildings and go and threaten the Night Goblin Archer bunker. Dogs are just shuffled around. They don't really have a purpose anymore. And the Skull Crushers, excuse me, guys, have just moved up full march. I think I was either out of range to charge or it was a unrealistic charge. So I just pushed them right up in his face. I'm not too worried about his shooting. It's poisoned, but I've got a 1-up save, so. Excuse me, guys. Really sore throat at the moment. Okay, so this is sort of the end of the turn magic phase. The Demon Prince goes ahead and fires the purple sun out of his arse through the A-Rock. A-Rock rolls a 6 and gets sucked into the purple sun, which was absolutely fantastic. Because now that's another thorn in my side gone. And of course, the BSB kills the Spear Chucker and reforms to face the Night Goblin Archer bunker. The Demon Prince kills the Doom Diver and reforms to face the Night Goblin Archer bunker. So, just clearing up the points here at the back of the board. I was really, really pleased to get Purple Sun off and pick up the A-Rock Spider. That really, turned the game. Okay, into Orcs and Goblins turn 3. Nothing to do really. He's not going to really move this unit. Again, a massive mistake. What he should have done is just backpedal an inch into the building. Not too sure why he didn't. But hey, I'm not one to argue. I'm not gonna say otherwise. If he wants to stand there and shoot, that's fine. So no, not really any movement. In the shooting phase, I go ahead and take 2 wounds from the shooting, which, considering how many there is there and they're all poisoned, was actually pretty good. The 1-up save, really keeping me alive. Considering he was, hitting on full ballistic skill, and looks like, I don't know, 30 something shots. So yeah, I only took 2 wounds. I was happy with that. Oh, sorry for the really blurry photo here, guys. So the Spear Chucker there turns around and shoots a bolt into Demon Prince's arse. Puts 2 wounds on him. He obviously soul feeded the wound he took back earlier. So he can't be killed by bolt throwers, but an armor save is always scary. So he takes 2 wounds there, but he's still alive, which is the main thing. Over on this, so yeah, on this side, this is Glorious Cast turn 4. The Gobbish Chariot has this turn has declared a charge onto the Spear Chucker, and this is the turn in which he fails. So again, he's moved up. I think I actually did get 6 inches out of him, so it wasn't a pretty much a loss at all. I still moved up as far as I could have done if I didn't charge, but I would really like to have made that charge. Pretty much everything else goes and charges in here. Now look at the damage I took on the Skull Crushers from the stand and shoot. I took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wounds on the stand and shoot. So normal shooting can't do anything, and then the stand and shoot absolutely batters the Skull Crushers. But the BSB gets in the flank, the Nurgle Gorbies gets in the front, 2 Skull Crushers. All those strength 5 attacks should easily be enough to butcher this unit and either render it useless or just break it. The rest of the movement looks like this. So the warriors push up through the gap in the 2 buildings. The Demon Prince flies back. I'm thinking about sending a Purple Sun down the flank of that unit. The BSB should be fine, and it just helped me pick up a couple of those. Well, pick up half that Night Goblin unit and just break them that much easier. In the end, nothing really goes on in the magic phase. I can't remember if I Death Snipe his BSB or anything like that. I really can't remember at this point. It's a long time ago. Life's been getting in the way of me getting these reports out, so I apologise for that. Either way, I do tons and tons of damage. The BSB gets into a challenge with his BSB, I believe, or his unit champion or somebody. Kill him there. Do so much damage from impact hits and all the strength 5. The unit breaks and gets run down by the Skull Crushers, who hit the building, and now we're going to spend a turn reforming back. this is into next turn, so pretty much skip the next Orcs and Goblins turn because all he had to do was fire two spear chuckers that didn't do anything. So I didn't get any pictures of that turn. Into Warriors of Chaos turn 4 or turn 5 even. The Nurgle Goldbeast on this side does in fact make the charge this turn. Kills the spear chucker and overruns into the next spear chucker. In the centre here, the BSB goes ahead and declares a charge onto into the spear chucker there, and of course he easily kills it. I think he reforms to face the top of this picture because there's another spear chucker hiding behind that building. In the next Orcs and Goblins turn, I pick up the spear chucker there with the Goblins chariot. And the end of the game will look kind of like this. You see the BSB is facing the top end of that building. There's another spear chucker hiding behind there. I've got pretty much, my entire army's ready to go and kill it. And I think that's pretty much the game is over just there. So, thanks for watching, guys. Give you a bit of post-game thoughts here. So, this is a fluffy goblin list. It wasn't, in any sense of the word, a tournament streamlined army. I think it was the first tournament my opponent had ever been to today. It made for a fun game. It was laid back. My opponent was really cool. He basically sat there for sort of 45 minutes while I took all his toys off, and he took it on the chin like a champ. So big kudos points there for my opponent. Really took a beating like a man. He made quite a few serious mistakes throughout the game. I think charging with the A-Rock turn 1 was probably a mistake. Challenging with his general in the Demon Prince combat was definitely a mistake. Not hopping into the building with his Night Goblin Archer Horde, that was probably a mistake. Just these things that in hindsight that you see is really obvious, but during the game you kind of just you don't really think about it. And again, it comes from lack of experience. This game massively highlights how overpowered the Demon Prince is. I was saying to my opponent after the game and to my friends that was at the tournament with that I could have won this game just with my Demon Prince and the BSB. If I had nothing else on the table, I probably still would have won. The Goldbeast did very little. The Nurgle Warriors did nothing, absolutely nothing. Skull Crushers, they did some wounds in the final combat to break the archers, but the Demon Prince, the BSB would have done that on their own anyway. And it just again highlights how overpowered the Demon Prince is, and it makes for on my end it makes the games fairly boring. I say it every time I do these post game thoughts that either the Demon Prince dies and then I lose, or have a very difficult game, or the Demon Prince isn't killed and he just runs riot the entire game, and it's not fun for my opponent. It's not particularly fun for me because I don't really have to think about anything. I like fantasy because it's tactical, and yet the Demon Prince means I can just throw the Demon Prince in your face, and if you can't kill him, then I'm going to win. So I'm really not enjoying that about Warriors. I'm going to look forward to getting a change when I jump to Orcs and Goblins. Nevertheless, I'm happy to get a win. This is a tournament after all. I'm looking to get best Warriors of Chaos player. Looking to do it as well as I possibly can. And it means I go into day 2 undefeated through 3-0. So if I can keep that up and win all 5 games, I'll be in a very strong position to place highly in the tournament. So see how day 2 goes. The draws went. I'm not sure if the draws went up the night of or day 2 in the morning. I think it was day 2 in the morning. They went up, so I didn't know at this point who I was going to face game 4 or game 1 on day 2. Nevertheless, the shenanigans happened on the Saturday night. I went to a barbecue, got very, very drunk, and day 2 I was seriously hungover and tired, so it may not go as well as day 1 has gone. That may be a spoiler. It may not. Keep watching, guys. Don't forget to subscribe, comment below, like the videos. You know the drill, and follow me on Twitter as well. It helps. My Twitter handle is @SystemWarGames. So that's me done. Peace out. I'll get the next roundup as soon as I possibly can. Okay, guys. Thank you.